Hey guys, I went to see the movie Sound of Freedom and whew, guys, yeah, no, it's heavy, heavy stuff. Um, I've known about this movie for a while, a couple of weeks, and I'd really hoped that they would bring it to South Africa because I remember checking various cinemas to see if it's coming soon and it wasn't there. And I was like, oh man. But they finally brought it to South Africa, and I'm glad that they did. And I'm also glad that I had those couple of weeks to sort of prepare myself for it because honestly, it is as harrowing as I thought it would be, if not more so. So it's based on a true story, and it's about a federal agent who works for the Department of Homeland Security in the US who rescues a boy from child sex trafficking. He then finds out that the boy's sister was also abducted and trafficked, and then he's compelled to go on this mission to find her and rescue her as well. This movie, guys, whew, it's so disturbing and just heart-wrenching and emotional. Listen, before you watch it, prepare yourself emotionally because yeah, it's a lot. I just could not believe what I was watching. Like, that people would do this to children is just unfathomable to me. And yet it's happening as we speak to children in their thousands, hundreds of thousands. Oh. Yeah, no, this movie is eye-opening. And it's also really powerful in its telling of the story. I really appreciated the fact that while the primary intent of this movie is to spread awareness about child sex trafficking, it doesn't stop it from being a really good movie. A lot of the times, movies whose focus is to get a message across often forego the quality of the movie. This one doesn't. It's a compelling, well-told story that's filmed and acted brilliantly. Yes, the subject matter is heavy, but it's also a thriller with suspense and a little bit of action. There were moments in that movie where I was legit at the edge of my seat. This movie has been described as being a faith-based movie, and it's certainly not in the way that I would expect. I don't know, when I think of faith-based movies, I'm thinking of movies like War Room or Overcomer. Whereas with this one, it's not overtly Christian in its content. There certainly are Christian elements in it, but I think the faith-basedness of it is more underlying and carries the movie as opposed to it being right on the surface and obvious to see. But faith-based or not, here's what I don't understand. So this movie has been very politicized in the US, with some on the left discrediting it for some reason. And I don't claim to know much about US politics. All I know is I went to the cinema and watched a movie about child sex trafficking and bringing awareness to that issue. The way I see it, it is not a liberal issue or a conservative issue. It is a humanitarian issue. So why would you have a problem with a movie that does that? I really want to commend the director of this movie, Alejandro Monteverde, for doing such a wonderful job. I mean, because of the subject matter, he had to handle it so sensitively, and I really believe he did that. What he chose to show and not show, while still getting the message of the movie across, was on point. And he did so without sacrificing the artistic integrity of the film. And then there's Uncle Jim. I've been a fan of Jim Caviezel since The Passion of the Christ and The Count of Monte Cristo. And he does not disappoint in this movie. Honestly, Jim Caviezel is one of the most intense actors I have ever had the pleasure of watching. Anyway, in this movie, he plays HSI agent Tim Ballard. And he brings such an earnestness and sensitivity to the character. And he has this ability of just drawing the audience in with his performances. Oh, excellent job as usual. This one is a jog to your nearest cinema. It's a great movie, but more than that, it's an important movie and an absolute must watch. And I would say, especially if you are a parent, I really, really recommend that you watch this movie. It is PG-13, so if you have kids that are of the appropriate age, they can watch this movie as well. So please, guys, go and see Sound of Freedom.